Hey, you! Yeah, you! The person watching this video right now, who probably thinks I've been dead for the past year and a half. I gotta ask you something. Have you ever thought to yourself about, say, running an experiment of putting 5 people in a room, giving them experimental chemicals, and seeing how long they can stay awake? No? Good. That would make you a sociopath. Now, anyone with ones and zeros running through their bloodstream like me knows that's a synopsis of the Russian sleep experiment. And while completely fictional, I decided to do an experiment to my friends in the same sort of vein. Obviously not as horrible as the actual Russian sleep experiment. I mean, I couldn't do something like that. I don't have enough money, I don't have enough willing participants, and I have too much sanity left to do such a thing. But I wanted to do an experiment, and an experiment I did. The plan is simple. I get 9 of my friends into a Discord group chat, and all of these 9 people want to stay in this group chat for as long as possible. That's how the experiment works. Last man standing kind of deal. But here's the catch. As soon as you send a message in this group chat, a timer starts. And if you do not send a message before the timer goes off, you are out of the challenge. At the start, it is set to 24 hours, but this number keeps getting cut in half depending on how long this experiment has gone on. 24 hours, 12 hours, 6, 3, 1, until there's only 1 person left. Now, I do have to mention some of the rules to the challenge. First of all, leaving the group chat is illegal. If you leave the group chat without being forcefully kicked, you're still out of the challenge because you are no longer in the group chat, even if your timer did not go off. Spamming is illegal. If you send the exact same message, the exact same image, or a bunch of images within a short amount of time, then you are removed from the challenge. And finally, forcing someone or bribing someone to lose the challenge is illegal. If you bribe or force someone out, when they get kicked from the challenge, they will be immediately brought back and you will be kicked instead. And of course, the last person remaining at the end of the challenge wins the prize. What's the prize, you might be asking? And I'm going to tell you to watch the rest of the video. Now, without further ado, welcome, everyone, to another video on the Thoto YT channel, and this is the Futile experiment. Have fun! Now, let's give ourselves a brief synopsis of each of the contestants so that this actually makes sense to people who don't know who this is, aka my audience. Subject 1, I am the funny, or funny as I will be referring to them for the rest of this video. Subject 2, Pixel.
This experiment was weird. I think if there'll be another one that's automated and explains the rules better, it'll work better. But you hope I'll win that money.
Subject 3, SnulSnail. Subject 4, Quacks.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't overall a terrible thing, but it wasn't really fun because you're just trying your best to not get out.
Subject 5, Soul.
Started out just as a normal fun group chat, and at first it was easy. We had 24 hours, but then it started all going downhill.
Subject 6, Komi. Subject 7, Arbor.
It was a day. A whole lot of sleep lost. I got to a point where I was like setting alarms and stuff to wake up. I was very dedicated to the challenge. Overall it was a really fun experience. It was a fun experience. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
Subject 8, Siku.
It was fun, had some moments, the owner not explaining the rules, but it messed up my sleep timing final words juju on that beat next time the toe.
Subject 9, Soap.
It was cool, enjoyable, but it was like very stressful. It's like stay up and ruin our sleep schedules. But overall, it was nice. I liked it.
Now that we got introduction out of the way, let's get started with what actually happened in the experiment itself. Day 1 started pretty much normal. I got everyone in the chat, announced the rules, and announced what the prize was going to be. I told you to wait, and good job, you did it. Gold star. The prize was that whoever won gets to choose one thing from Amazon, eBay, Etsy, pretty much anything, and I would buy it for them as long as it was $20 or under. I would have just given them $20 and allowed them to get anything with it, but because this was on Discord, most of the people I could not meet in person. So you see the problem. So most of day one was just everyone figuring out what they could and couldn't get with the prize money. It ranged from a basic Steam gift card to a syringe to even a block of tungsten at one point. I still don't remember what the context of that was. But because it was the start of the challenge, the rule was that at midnight, whoever hadn't sent a message would be removed. Since if you don't send a message, your time never starts. Due to this rule, everyone sent a message as soon as they realized that the group chat was created. Whether it was just one message and then immediately leaving, or it was Soul explaining in in-depth detail an entire PC build well over $1,000, which, needless to say, I was not going to buy. And when I say everyone, I'm actually lying to you. Unbeknownst to me, Komi, our 6th participant, was having a bit of technical issues with their phone at the time. And because of this, they did not send a message when the Futile experiment started, and at midnight were immediately removed. And honestly, sucks to be you, dude. Originally, this is where day one's entry was supposed to end. I didn't have much to say before I went to sleep. But apparently, while I was asleep, Siku and Soap pretty much spent the entire night just talking to each other. And during which, 16 minutes straight, Siku sent 149 images. Albeit, every single one of the images was different, but I still consider that spam, thus, Siku was removed from the challenge. On a side note, this image might be the least funny thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Day 1 and already 2 people are out. Waking up bright and early on day 2, this is the last day that has the time limit at 24 hours. Starting at midnight tonight, it's reduced to 12 hours instead. But besides that, I really thought that Pixel or SnulSnail was going to get out today. Pixel came back at about noon to refresh their timer before it got too close for comfort. SnulSnail, on the other hand, came back literally 13 minutes before their timer ran out. I was hovering my key over the remove from group button when they did that, and I'm still kinda mad about it. During this, Siku tried to defend their case, cause I messed up and did not announce that spamming was a rule in the first place. I mean, they did in fact break a rule, but I didn't tell anyone that was a rule that could be broken. So we flipped a coin. Siku called heads and... Siku was added back to the Futile experiment with a slap on the wrist. And with that, day 2 comes to a close. Not a lot happened today, but honestly, kinda nice to have some calm before the storm that was day 3. And as midnight strikes, day 3 begins, and with it, the time limit is now reduced to 12 hours. And while you might look at that and think, that's a lot of time still, but keep in mind, 3 people at the very start of day 3 were already removed from this change. Funny, Pixel, and SnulSnail all out. When their timer seemed like they could last for a while, it immediately dropped in half. During a lot of day 3, the remaining 5 contestants were a lot more on edge because of so many people getting kicked out today. But besides that, not really a lot happened on day 3. Siku tried the same exact strategy that SnulSnail did a few days back, trying to come in a few minutes before their timer went out. But unlike SnulSnail, they messed it up. A single minute after their timer went off, they sent a message. And while I do love kicking people out, that's the end of the sentence. I kicked Siku out of the experiment. And I mean, like, he kinda had it coming. He already broke a rule before. And while he was added back to a misunderstanding, it was pretty obvious he was not going to make it much farther. Originally, after this happened, I was planning on reducing the timer to 6 hours at midnight this night. But 6 hours is even less time. A good 8 hours of sleep and you're automatically out of the challenge. So I came into a dilemma. Do I want this experiment to go on for as long as possible for the sake of the experiment, or do I want to make it go as chaotic as possible for the sake of content? So I did what I always do to an indecision. Happy Halloween! And much like the name, we started off with only 4 contestants in the challenge remaining: Soul, Quox, Soap, and Arvern. And because of this scarcity, Soul and Soap decided to team up with each other. The deal was pretty much if they were the last 2 left, they would evenly divide the prize money, since both of the things they wanted were pretty cheap, and I could still afford it with only 20 bucks. But this doesn't really change any of the rules to the challenge, so I don't understand what's the benefit of doing this. But I guess you get one less enemy. This alliance did not last very long, cause at 3 o'clock of that day, time limit went down to 6 hours to reduce it from becoming monotonous. And because of this change, one of our most promising subjects, Soap, was removed from the challenge. And it almost got rid of Quox too. But at the last second, they pulled a classic SnulSnail move and came back 9 minutes before the timer went off, which was actually less time than SnulSnail did originally. But now it's down to the final 3, and with not a lot of people, the experiment got to a sort of peaceful era. Everyone was content with their time limits. But after a while, we all got kinda bored, and I hosted a Quiplash game. Posed 3 questions with 2 contestants responding to each. And all of the other removed contestants would vote for their favorite response. Whoever won gets an extra 3 hours of time. Seemed pretty innocent, just a way of passing the time. And after all of it, Quox won the game with 2 points on the board, which was the max amount you could get. But in a classic wild card fashion, they ended off on a note of superiority and left, leaving our final 2, Soul and Arvern, with the last 2 contestants in this entire challenge. And because neither of them won the game, they both got an hour and a half evenly divided between them. Day 4 ends as it started. Stupid. And then there were 2. Day 5 started pretty much normal. No one died in the night, so that's pretty cool. Most of the day was just the 3 of us having the stupidest conversations I've had on Discord. But it makes sense, these are my friends.
I love men.
Good.
As you should.
Yippee.
I love men.
Man.
Men.
Man.
Men I coffee you.
Men and gotta love them.
Men. I love men.
I love men.
Most normal conversation.
I love men.
I love men.
No, guys. We love men.
We love men.
Makeagift.com.
We love men.
We love mean it.
Mean?
We love men! Exclamation point!
Man company.
Man vs machine.
Straightest conversation ever.
It's opposite day.
PUV straight boys after saying no homo.
Exactly.
Okay, that's enough. After this, the timer went down to 3 hours, and with the extra hour and a half, they only had 4.5 hours each. And well, I'll just let the footage speak for itself. Small, it's inconsequential, and most people wouldn't notice it if it weren't for these live timers. But what kind of host would I be if I didn't count it? Arvern wins this futile experiment. After a little bit more than 5 days, we have a winner. This experiment was really fun and interesting to watch, and probably to participate. I'd suggest if you have enough time and energy to try an experiment like this for yourself, but maybe use a bot and make it less cruel on people's sleep schedule like I did. Whoops. Auburn got his $20 despite not really caring about it, and with it, that ends the Futile experiment. So what did we learn after all this? People like money. That's all I have to really say. If you like the video, slam dunk that like button, hit the subscribe button into the sun, and shove the bell if you're at only -8% of viewers are actually subscribed, etc. YouTuber stuff. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Later. Oh wait, you guys actually thought we were done? Oh no. Have fun.